I'm kind of going to miss introducing ourselves at the beginning of the
we
show.
can still do it. Hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing great. I hear we have an amazing guest today.
We do. Jen Lima.
Let's talk about some California dreaming weather.
Yeah.
All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray.
Check it out. Right now it is 9 o'clock. 63 degrees today is going to be your high, and then your low is 40. So bundle up, but don't bundle up. Thursday, 46 degrees. Thanksgiving, by the way. Friday, 44 degrees. Saturday, Sunday, sunny, not sunny on Sunday, 49 degrees. But thank you, everybody, for joining us for AM Rockland's News today. And I'm really psyched because we have one of our friends that we know for quite some time, Jen Lima, health and wellness coach. And she's nationally certified, by the way, as a health and wellness coach. Jen and I and Mike with us, we've known each other for more than, I think, 10 years, although we still look youthful somehow.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
North Rock, we are all products of North Rockland.
Yes, and that's one of the tying bonds, almost like, like Stony Point, 1770 something.
Chains.
Jen Lima, thank you for being on AM Rockland's News this morning.
Hi, good morning, Mike and Tom. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. So a little background. Jen used to run, amongst other things, the farmers market in Stony Point while running as a researcher for grants at Columbia University. I don't have the exact title for that specifically, but you used to work at Columbia University for quite some time. And you earned your bones in grant development and writing and working with different individuals. And now you've moved on to other things a few years ago, and you've cultivated a health and wellness practice.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
To the listeners who don't know what health and wellness coaches do,
right?
Tell us what you do.
So health and wellness coaching, it's not, we don't treat or diagnose or, even you prescribe any typical treatments. Health coaches take a person's already, their strengths and their values, and we meet them where they're at. And so a client would come to me and say, I have this goal in mind, or I am struggling with a new diagnosis of whatever, and I help them help themselves. So I'm really like, as a coach, is really a guide through someone else's health journey. So perfect example. And the goals during sessions with clients can change. So perfect example is I had a client, she came to me because she wanted to, lose weight to go to a family reunion. During the course of our sessions together, she realized that she really didn't want to go to a family reunion because she really didn't like those people. So we worked through that.
Someone I can relate to, right?
So a little bit of counseling from the mental therapy side, a little bit of counseling from the dietary side, and activity side. So a little bit of just helping people live a little bit better, right?
It's sort of a merger between the convergence of health, wellness, life, because all of those things happen during the day. That's life, and it's helping people recognize their habits and their patterns and their own personal rhythms and how that's working out for them, and how to make tweaks to their own, to their habits, so that every day can be their best day.
Yeah, it's little things, and just from, just a simple thing that I try to do in the morning: get up, have some water, and take a vitamin B supplement. And that helps my energy level for when I have breakfast, and hopefully it's a healthy breakfast. I think we're 7/8 there, but not,
Well, we haven't had vitamin beer. I mean, wait. Oh, sorry. That's a different show.
Yeah, we have a beer expert on. Let's get David on. But do you have any general thoughts on, especially during the seasonal reset? We were talking about food insecurity last week, and just having to, let's say, do more with less. less income, less resources. But there's also this misperception in my mind that healthy living has to be costly.
Yeah, it has to be expensive, which
Yeah.
is not true.
No, it's not. It's really a lot of things you can do for yourself actually don't cost anything. Or, it's going to the grocery store and choosing to buy vegetables and getting a free YouTube video on how to, cook.
Right.
It doesn't, buying vegetables is the same or less than buying, some processed food frozen meal.
Exactly.
Well,
Buying a bag of apples probably costs the same or less than buying a bag of Cheetos.
Bingo.
right. And societally, we have been told more and more and more that the kitchen is an evil, inconvenient place. And I think that we need to go and debunk that a little bit, right? Because cooking is not as scary and complicated as they want to make it out to be.
Right.
And yes, we have all these crazy cooking shows with all these highbrow stuff. Those are people who, that's their profession, is to make gourmet meals. We're not talking gourmet here, right?
No.
We're just talking about some simple stuff. Can you give us an example of how someone who's struggling could help themselves?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to jump in before Jen does, and I'm going to turn it over to you. I just had lentils for breakfast. All right. Now, lentils, and it's one of my staple that I've had, throughout the years. I mean, going from me being food insecure 25 years ago to now. But I still try to hold on to those same early values of, you don't need to have like the filet mignon all the time. You can have something really simple. Every day. Yeah, and it fuels your body, So I had lentils for breakfast. And by the way, those lentils cost approximately $2.29 for a huge bag.
Right.
Goya, oh boy.
Goya, oh boy.
And Jen, I've actually, we've been over to your home, years ago. And I mean, you are like a gourmet cook. I'm just saying that. I mean, I know that's not what we're talking about here, but you obviously had an appreciation for those better ingredients, if I'm not mistaken. So, from your perspective, how does the mindset shift in the direction of health?
I mean, I honestly have to say, I am not a gourmet cook by any means. I always call myself, I'm like a mom cook.
Just my opinion. Just
back in the day, like my, and also the thing too, I think you're getting the misnomer that my old kitchen was amazing. I miss my kitchen every day.
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool.
But I cook healthy mom food, and a lot of it is just being prepared and having the ingredients and thinking about your week and what you're going to want to eat that week, depending on what your week looks like. So I used to do, and I think you were over at the house a lot of times when I was doing my Sunday meal prep.
Oh yeah.
And back when my daughter was young and I was commuting into the city to Columbia, and I knew that I was going to have things ready to go so that I could grab something healthy instead of grabbing something not healthy. Because it's easier to just order a pizza.
Totally.
If you have yourself ready and set up for success, then it's it's easier. So
right, but for the cost of that pizza, you could have food for a whole week.
The cost of the pizza?
If you took the cost of the pizza and bought ingredients at ShopRite, you could eat for a whole week.
The economics of it, yeah. Like for instance,
I have celiac, so
just for instance, garlic.
Everything for me is more.
Celiac, yeah, and you have to provision for gluten.
Or lack of gluten, as the case may be.
Or lack of gluten, yeah.
Lack of gluten, yeah.
My son is also celiac, so I had to learn to cook that as well.
Gotcha, okay.
So from that perspective, the cost benefit, if you have a food allergy, to learn how to make it yourself. And Jen, you brought up, I think you brought up that part of your food prep was because you're being a mom. One of the things that I learned with my children, who are just now becoming teenagers, was involve them in the kitchen. If you don't know, It's okay. You're looking it up on YouTube. Make it a group project for the family, because I learned to cook when my mom had to go back to work. My dad had moved on, and it was part of the family practice on Sundays, like you were saying, as food prep, where we all kind of got together on that day off and made a bunch of food for the week. Right. So
Right.
2 or 3 things that you could have like on Monday and then again on Wednesday and then have a Tuesday, Thursday thing or something.
Mm-hmm.
But part of it is that instead of going and buying those pre-made, prepackaged things, there's a way to go about it that is healthy
Mm-hmm.
and certainly cost effective.
Yeah. From your perspective, Jen, and by the way, for those of you that are listening, the place to start your wellness 90-day seasonal reset, and Jen's running it, is bellavitaalchemy.com. I'm going to spell that out. BELLAVITAALCHEMY.com. We'll have it on Rockland's News in a little while. But Jen, from your perspective, where's some good starting points to doing the reset? And it's available to sign up, but like, how does the reset start, if you will?
Well, I mean, we're talking about food. So food is a really good place to start. Just really, the reset itself it's a 90-day program where I set it between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. So it runs from December 20th through March 19th. And during the reset, you're going to observe yourself. You're going to observe your own habits, your own, behaviors. And it's just going to be a 5-minute check-in where you just fill out a checklist of like, how did you sleep? How do you rate your nutrition for the day? Did you, how your hydration, just other habits that you can actually add into your own checklist. And at the end of the time, again, I'm a science nerd at heart, you know that.
We all are.
So at the end of the 90 days, I'm going to take your data. So the more you fill out your checklist and the more data that you collect on yourself, the better your report that I'm going to give you at the end is. And I'm also going to throw some things in there like the phase of the moon, the day of the week, the weather, and just see how your own behavior, your own wellness journey through the winter, how that works. Yeah. So you may find out that, on Thursday nights, you don't sleep well. And you're like, because you consistently say on Thursday, Friday when you check in about your sleep the night before, you don't sleep well. Well, it's because you're all stressed out about some Monday morning, some Friday morning meeting. You didn't even realize that. So then you can tweak your bedtime routine and make sure that you're set up for success on Friday morning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the stress is
tiny tweaks like that. But food is a main part of wellness, and choosing the right nourishment and the right fuel that you put into your body is going to set you up for success and set you up to have, the best day.
Jen, what are your 5 favorite vegetables that you have in your refrigerator right now? If you were going to say you have to have these 5 things for our listeners, what would you choose?
Again, you and I were, Mike and I were discussing before that we're both huge gardeners. So I try to eat as seasonally as possible. In the Northeast, that's really, really hard to do because, we're getting into, right now we're sort of in harvest phase. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. And so, there's an abundance of different, vegetables now. Once you get into January, February, that gets a little hard. But the things that are in my fridge right now is I have sweet potatoes, which are very nutrient dense. They fill you up. They have good calorie, they have good caloric amount. But you also have to remember that it is a carbohydrate. It's sugar. The other thing that's in my fridge right now is I always have a huge container of spinach, like baby spinach.
Oh, totally.
And I take a handful of baby spinach and pretty much throw it into everything.
Okay. Okay.
It's really easy. You get your greens, you get, all of your good, you get some fiber. And so baby spinach, what else do I have in there right now? Oh, again, we're in the fall. So I have spaghetti squash.
Uh-huh.
So
Okay.
I will make a spaghetti squash, and instead of making spaghetti, and you can treat that the same way that you would treat pasta. I have an amazing penne sauce that my daughter's friend's mom makes. That so I'm probably going to make that later this week. And what else do I have right now?
So far,
And then,
of the
it's
colors of
really
the rainbow, we have yellow, orange, and green. What else you got?
Right, I was going to say, like, I have red peppers.
Okay.
Red
Red
peppers.
peppers are great as a snack. You
They
cut them
are.
up, you dip them in some hummus. You
Red
have a snack.
peppers and hummus. Okay.
Yeah,
I never
totally.
put those
Red peppers
two
and
items
hummus are one of
together.
my
Sometimes you roast a red pepper and put it in the hummus. It's delicious.
That's awesome.
It is delicious.
Yeah. So red peppers, hummus, and I'm trying to think what else might be in there right now. Again, it's not a vegetable, but blueberries. I always have blueberries in the fridge.
Now, for those of you that are listening right now, if you were able to take those 5 ingredients and somehow your brain transmits a signal of, wow, I like that. I can almost taste it. That means that you can certainly hop on to a healthier living lifestyle. And we all suffer from it. I mean, like we've all done like the Cheetos and the Doritos and,
Right.
all this stuff. But, I've found over the years, and I just turned 50 and I don't lament it yet.
I mean, I feel amazing at 52. So.
Yeah, and so it's and it's an ongoing journey. I mean, Dick Van Dyke actually
100.
just said
He's
he's
100.
going to be 100 years old.
Mel Brooks made it to 100.
Mel Brooks made it to 100,
Right.
And there's just certain things that definitely help along that journey. So we talked about food, we talked about habits as far as sleep patterns, how stress can affect it. On Bella Vita Alchemy, there's also a nice 6 component matrix that talks about food, stress, exercise, sleep. We talked about that, relationships, and career. Now, for the other 3, Jen, prioritizing that is definitely a complex set of 3 items, because the career usually affects the ability to focus on the relationships and the exercise.
And sometimes the relationship is distracting towards your career and your exercise.
And your exercise. Right? Exercise, if you're in the gym all the time, it's like, I am Arnold. But, that doesn't mean that.
Well, if you really want to multitask, you can be like Jen and I, become a gardener, because gardening and working out are synonymous. There's even a chart of how you garden and what muscle groups it uses.
Really?
Totally.
Right. Now, how do you work those, especially in the 90-day challenge? How do you work that into the check-ins with the various individuals that are typically on the challenge? And this isn't the first one you've done. You actually introduced this to me years ago. But how do you guide them through those other 3 things?
Well, really what it's going to be is you're going to be just kind of paying attention to yourself and paying attention to how things affect you. And like I said, that example of, you don't sleep well on Thursday because you have a meeting on Friday that really stresses you out.
Mm-hmm.
That, again, that's one thing.
I know this is a scary phrase for some folk, but self-awareness, is that kind of what we're looking for?
Self-awareness is a big one. Just mindfulness. I mean, I've been practicing mindfulness for a long time. And mindfulness, mindfulness has become like a buzz term when it comes to meditation and all that. But it kind of started more in the late 70s, I believe. I'm not sure of the date, but it was really introduced by John Kabat-Zinn.
Mm-hmm.
And he pretty much took more of a Buddhist Zen meditation. And it's really about just recognizing, being present. The past already happened. The future hasn't happened yet. All you have is the present. And just paying attention to right now and the choices that you can make in this moment. Because the choice you make in this moment is what's going to bring you to the next moment.
100%.
And so being aware and, figuring out like, okay, again, last night, perfect example. I've been trying really hard to not drink alcohol because I realized that, and again, we were talking about ages, I'm 54.
You are not
Alcohol
54.
makes me feel like crap. And it's really, really sad because I really like wine. I like wine a lot, but I can't drink it anymore because it makes me feel like crap.
Yeah, especially the next day.
Especially if it's got the sulfites. No sulfites.
Sulfites gave me a migraine once. Yeah.
Yeah. So like last night, I recognized that, and I'm like, okay, fine. I can't drink because I need to feel good tomorrow morning because I'm going to be talking to Mike and Tom. So I made the decision in that moment, instead of going and opening a bottle of wine, I made myself seltzer with pomegranate juice and a lime.
Seltzer, I'm sorry to interrupt. Seltzer is a game changer. It was a game changer for me, and I can't say that
You just like bubbles.
No. If I, and I'm going to try to hold true to my numbers here, but percentage-wise, when I first started drinking seltzer in place of beer, when I went to various taverns and restaurants and stuff like that, I decreased my alcohol consumption by 90%. Now, I'm 15 years past when I started, so I'm being honest with myself. It probably has reduced my alcohol consumption by 40% right now. But at the same time, yeah, Jen, seltzer definitely.
And not to be the tempter, but breweries are actually making alcoholic seltzers now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's less calories. You can get your little buzz on and not have all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, totally.
Right. And I have to do a plug. I'm sorry.
Go.
I'm on the board for an organization called Moderation Management. It's moderation.org. And what it is it helps people change their relationship with alcohol.
I like it.
You're recognizing that you're having a little bit of an issue, and you want to decrease your consumption or move eventually towards abstinence, moderation.org.
I like it. I might check it out, and I'll say this publicly on the air. And for those of you that are listening, and hopefully you've been listening for a while, I try to be, realistic with myself. And I'll tell you, I have some hard and fast rules for myself. One of them is don't drink anything until you're done working at 6 o'clock during the weekdays. And like I said, and I'm not trying to ride this out too long, but I turned 50 a few weeks ago. There was a lot of alcohol left over. There's literally, I'm not kidding you, there are 2 kegs.
I noticed that.
Outside. Yeah.
I noticed that.
Right? And I have to bring them back.
There's still beer in them?
There's still beer in them. Wow. A lot of beer. Now, I haven't really, those I'm not really into and everything like that. They're IPAs, not the dark ales, right? But there was a whole bunch of Jack and Cokes and these lemon drop martinis that, thank you.
Sugar.
Yeah,
sugar.
All that, right?
All sugar.
So one day, and I'm working in the home office, right? And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Tuesday or Wednesday. And I walk past the fridge. It's you know what? Maybe I'm going to have a drink, right? Mm-hmm. And I only had 1 or 2. But then the next day I was you know what? I'm going to have a drink. Another 1 or 2. And that happened for 2 weeks. And I finally had to shut myself. I'm I'm not going down this path. Yeah.
Why were you having the drinks? Were you having them because your tongue wanted them? Because your brain wanted the alcohol? Because I read this book a long time ago.
I'll tell you exactly why.
When I was brewing, it's called The Brewmaster's Table, written by Garrett Oliver, who is the head brewmaster for Brooklyn Brewery.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he went to Europe and he learned all about wine tasting and food pairing. And one of the biggest takeaways I have from that book is whatever you are drinking, whether it be alcohol or not, should clear your palate for the next bite of food.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at your beverage as part of your caloric intake as part of your meal from a place of balance of, if I drink this and I'm eating this, every bite of this is going to be super delicious because my after 3 bites of taking something in, your tongue gets taxed, so your flavor buds kind of turn
flavor
themselves
profile
off, right?
goes down.
Right, the threshold goes up. So your beverage should clear your tongue for the next bite.
Yeah. So the answer to your question is, I did it because I wanted to feel cool and relaxed.
Cool and relaxed.
Yeah.
Now, did you feel cool and relaxed?
Not based on the expectations I had in my head when I picked up the drink, because obviously, I mean, you know, one of my big vices is I'm a freaking workaholic. Okay. So it dulled my senses while I was working, and that's a no. Especially in IT. Okay. You got to be like points on, you know, digital guns aimed against the cyber enemies at all times. You don't even want to know. So, and that's where I made the conscious decision to stop. But it's different for various people that pick up, you know, alcohol even recreationally. Right. Jen, have you found, you know, and you mentioned moderation.org as the website to check out. Have you encountered individuals over the course of your travels that maybe perhaps, you know, think of alcohol in different ways? Like, does it mean something different to them?
And I mean, again, you know, I was part of the mommy wine culture for a while, where
what's that?
You know, moms at the end of the day, you know, whether you get home from work or whether you're, you know, a stay-at-home mom and you put the kids to bed, you open a bottle of wine at night. Right. And it's the mommy wine culture. I mean, I knew many, you know, people, and I won't point out who anybody is, of course, but yeah, you had your, you know, travel mug full of alcohol at a soccer game. You know, because that's just what you did. And, you know, or, you know, while trick-or-treating, and alcohol is just part of so much of our society
for generations.
It's become kind of normal.
Yeah.
And the mommy wine thing is a thing. And I mean, there's jokes, there's t-shirts, there's, you know, like all kinds of stuff that promote, you know.
There's the movie Bad Moms, which was epic, by the way.
Right, exactly. And it's in so many movies. And if you look at so many shows, like how many, you know, on different TV shows, you know, people walking around with, you know, alcohol.
Yeah. And you know, another thing that's coming back.
After work or whatever. And
in Hollywood, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm just going to say that, like, it's just become such a part of our culture. And then it's sort of like, again, triggering where, you know, like, okay, example, the show Scandal. I love Scandal. But, you know, watching that show, I'm like, damn it, what's she drinking? I want some.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's coming back in Hollywood? I read an article about this the other day. Smoking cigarettes is coming back.
Well, and speaking of smoking, you can go, and TV shows, you can go the weeds route and go to 202 Cannabis.
That's
and instead of drinking at the soccer game, you could have any number of edibles or drinks that have THC in them.
Now, I don't know about this whole cannabis thing.
You always say that.
But I will say that, for instance, you know, we've checked out the establishment. We found it to be completely and authentically just straightforward. They're not advising you to, like, you know, get too woo.
No, it's like almost like a museum. Like you go from station to station.
They literally educate you on each type of, and I'm interested in it from a scientific point of view.
It's all about science.
Yeah.
It's all about science.
And you know, you can basically buy the item gummies, which, you know, don't affect the lungs, tinctures. And
chocolate bars.
Yeah, and I'm very intrigued when we went in there and they did the ribbon cutting. Town of Haverstraw Supervisor Howard Phillips was there, along with a lot of elected officials. And Gregory and Milka, the owners, I have to say this: they educate people. They also have counseling. So, if, like, you know, if you're a little, you know, using something else and you want to flip over to that, or, you know, have it more of a, so they are aligned with the concept of wellness. And that's the thing that I appreciate from them the most. It's 202cannabisco.com. They're located in Garnerville. right on Route 202, just past the Hector L. Soto Memorial Highway on Route 202.
Now, I want to say that has nothing to do with Jen's business. I
No,
don't know how
correct.
THC plays into Jen's business. Maybe we should ask.
Because we're professional here, just we have disclosures and stuff like that. But we did want to thank 202 Cannabis.
Because they're one of our sponsors.
Yeah, and they're really nice people. They really are. And I think I'm wishing them a lot of luck over the next few years. And
So-
back to Jen.
Jen, THC.
wait, you can't just THC. Go. It's not like that.
I mean, so what are your feelings both on the movement and how that plays into your health and wellness and moderation as well?
I think it's all about moderation. And I just also, my previous life as a clinical research, director, I worked in the Division on Substance Use Disorders at Columbia.
Nice.
At New York State Psychiatric Institute.
Right.
So I did substance use disorder research for 20-something years. And at the time, and even back then, and this was before there was dispensaries, before, legalization of, of cannabis, my own division was divided.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like literally one end of the hall that said, this is a drug. We need to treat it like a drug. It should be illegal. Right. And then there was the other side of the hall that was like, I don't know. It's, it's not, it's not that bad. There are benefits to it. And then they were, other investigators that were looking at it more in terms of the health benefits. But again, I think THC, just like alcohol, just like anything else,
right,
it's about moderation. And again, there's benefits to red wine. There's anti-inflammatory properties, resveratrol in red wine. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm not saying go drink 2 bottles a day.
Exactly.
Because the alcohol part of that's going to cancel out any of the benefits.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's about moderation. It's about making decisions and using safely, and deciding what's best for me in this moment. And if what's best for you in this moment is I need to take a gummy because I need to get a good night's sleep and my brain is going a million miles, that's a personal choice to do that.
Yeah, and I think the moderation component really comes into play, and with anything, and we're coming up on the holidays. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and there's going to be the desire to just grab everything on the table and just go nuts, and then fall asleep on the couch in front of the Detroit Lions losing yet another game, except against the Giants, of course, because yay, unbelievable. But do you have any, general ideas, like, how someone can avoid, just going totally wild on the day of the holiday events that are going to be coming up?
Again, it's just being aware of yourself, just being aware of your own behaviors, your own triggers, and what, and being aware of how this is going to affect you later. Right. And how this is going to affect you tomorrow. And yeah, it's a holiday. So, don't say, oh, I'm sorry that, I'll just have, some sprouts and that's it. No, it's, enjoy yourself, eat the food that you love and all of that. But again, realize that this is going to affect your health tomorrow.
Right. And I do something, I didn't do it over the last few years, but I'd grab like a salad before I leave, just so that like I show up, obviously I'm going to have like visual, I'm going to say excitement when I see like, all the stuff all set up, but I won't have those feelings of I have to have this right now. I can kind of look at it as like, oh, I'll have a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Like a little nosh. You should be noshing throughout the day.
Nosh, exactly. That's what I was thinking of, noshing.
It's not about really, it's like, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, enjoy. But it's about starting this pattern tomorrow, and that pattern lasting through January 2nd.
Yes.
I would say as part of that Thanksgiving thing, you're part of that self-awareness that we're talking about, Jen, is that
Right.
you're not just being self-aware about what you're consuming. You're not just like from a food place, but what are you talking about at the dinner table? What are you watching? Are you watching the Lions and the Cowboys and all that? And why? Like, is it something that you've been doing and you enjoy it actively, or is this just something you do? Because I think part of that self-awareness is to start doing things with intent, as opposed to
Right.
just doing what you do every year because you do it every year. I've heard so many people start bad mouthing the turkey, and for right or for wrong, I have no personal grudge against the turkey, but there are people who don't want to have turkey at Thanksgiving anymore. And you know what? There's no reason for you to have turkey if you don't like it.
Yeah.
One friend wants to just have chicken parmesan for Thanksgiving every year for the rest of his life.
We want to thank Mike Kluger for answering his own question.
What's that?
No, I'm just messing with you. All right.
My point is that you should eat what you like, and to Jen's point, you should eat stuff with a little bit more consciousness and and choose those foods that are better for you and also taste good.
Definitely. What are your thoughts on that, Jen?
Right. I mean, but like tomorrow's the only day of the year that I get to have my mom's stuffing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat a lot of it. I'm going to bring some home. And that's fine, because that's something I can only get once a year. Same thing. It's like, so eat the foods that you love. But again, think about it that, because the holidays back in the day, the holiday season was very, very stressful for me.
Right.
And so basically starting Thanksgiving through January, my diet was basically wine and cookies. That's not good.
It's not. It sounds delicious.
It sounds fun, but it will hurt you in the end.
It was fantastic. It really was. And I want to go back to, I don't know if there's the book that our Carl books, The Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then sometimes if you go back to that book, like at the end, he eats everything during the book. And then at the end, he has one nice juicy green leaf and he feels better.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about balance and moderation. And again, stress, the holidays can be stressful. Life is stressful, and you just have to realize what do you do when you're stressed out? And what choices can you make that are going to get you through the stress and manage the stress in a healthier way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because back, Tom and I have been friends for a long time, and he knows that when I was, my previous career was extremely stressful.
Oh yeah. You hit it very well. You always kept the smile on your face, but it had to be daunting.
It was very, very stressful, and I somehow got into this habit, and I still do it. That it became a habit. That instead of reacting, I learned how to just take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's second nature to me that when a stressful situation or someone's in my face, I actually pause and ground and take a breath. And it's an internal thing that the external reaction anyone's seeing is probably only just that, there's a beat of time between whatever stimulus is affecting me and my reaction.
Mm-hmm.
But inside, I just kind of ground and I'm like, okay, this is whoever's, in my face. This is how I'm going to handle the situation. But I also calm myself before, and I don't let it I don't let it affect the rest of my day.
And folks, let me say something. Jen keeps saying take a breath. Breaths are free. Take 3 of them. Take 3. Really calm yourself down. Get yourself chill. Do things with intent.
Yeah.
Don't react.
Right. And breathing is free. Air is free.
For now.
For now. At least for now. And just take a breath. And so again, one year for Thanksgiving, my cousin and I, after a certain election, we joked about it, but then we kind of we're going to implement it, that we were going to have the entire family sign a promise saying that they weren't going to talk about the election.
Sign me up.
Because we just couldn't deal with, so we like banned certain topics from Thanksgiving.
I wish I had that form back in my teens. I really, 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 really wish. Anyway,
I can find it. It actually was a coloring sheet with a picture of a turkey.
yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, it'll be like, I don't know if my progenitors will sign the form because they just want to do their own thing, but that's their choice. Yeah. That's their choice. But my choice is, just like you said, is having that space to just take a breath, maybe take 3, and recognize that I don't need to be in that thing. I actually did that on my 50th birthday. Like, I had, no names or anything like that, but I had 2 relatives that were on my left and my right, and they were saying things back and forth to me that literally I felt like my heart was like skipping a beat, and not in a good way. It was just like, and I was just like, okay, well, thank you for being here. I'm going to stand over there now, which I did. And I took a moment afterwards too. I was like, what the flying fudge was that? Like, and I think that was the moment where I realized, okay, I don't have to put on the airs with anyone tonight. I can take a moment and enjoy it for myself. And largely that's what happened. I'm thankful, and I got to give my wife kudos for setting that thing up.
But Tom, you can do that in every moment. I think is what Jenna's talking about. It's not just in this one heated spot, but in all of those little stressors that happen. That was a big stressor for you, but all those little stressors, you need to be able to take that breath or 3.
Yes, sir.
And
yes, sir.
And focus on making the right choice when you move forward.
Absolutely. Jen, bellavitaalchemy.com. That is the website.
Yeah.
And I'm signing up for you have a free discovery session. It's 20 minutes. And I'm going to read this off. In the free 20-minute session, we will talk about how coaching can help you prioritize your health, wellness, and life goals, and create the steps to achieve them. And you can book the appointment online at bellavitaalchemy.com. And you mentioned that the Winter Wellness Challenge, the next one, you said it starts on December 20th, or?
It starts December 20th, but the week of December 15th, I'm going to have, like, whoever signs up, we're going to have an introductory call. We're going to do the rules of how it's going to work. You can ask any questions and just, get to know your teammates.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an individual challenge. It's an individual, and I don't like using the word challenge. One of my business coaches said, kept trying to get me to change it to journey.
Right.
Instead of challenge, because challenges tend to be difficult. So, whatever word works best for you, but I don't want it to be difficult. The check-ins every day only take about 5 minutes. You'll get a link either to email or your phone, whichever way you set it up. And then you're just going to fill out, your check-in for the day. I'm going to have, in there, I'll have like little, again, you can take it or leave it. I'll have like little, prompts for the day. There'll be a topic that for each week, you'll get of what we're going to focus on, whether it's going to be sleep or metabolism or stress. And then, I'm going to leave space in the check-ins. There's going to be 2, or I might add 3. And you can use them, not use them, but you can, check in with whatever other things you want to track.
Yeah.
Like if you want to track, for like women, if you want to track your own, cycle, then you can add that in there. If you want to track something else that's going on in your life, you can track that as well.
Us guys, I'm told we have a cycle. We could track that.
We have a cycle?
That's what I'm told.
I'm in a cycle right now by you saying that.
There's been a lot. There's been actually a lot of new research on men actually having like a hormonal cycle. And then it's definitely true that, that hormonal cycle that changes throughout life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you mentioned, the stresses of life that affect those cycles as well. So it makes sense.
Right.
I think we almost broke the Tommy on that whole cycle comment, and then you recovered because you took a deep breath. Oh wait, it was 3 because they're free.
No. I didn't have time for 3. I did like 1 3/4 or
1
something
3/4.
like that. I don't know. Anyway,
9 7/8.
Jennifer Lima, coaching, herbalist, workshops, and many more. You can check her out at bellavitaalchemy.com. I'm going to read that off one more time to you. Spell it BELLAVITAALCHEMY. You could also check her out on her Instagram. Same thing, Bella Vita Alchemy. And also, I have to mention, I got to shout out your daughter. Instagram is Issa Rose Hair, ISAROSEHAIR. She's an amazing hairstylist. How is Bella doing? I remember she was a little tight.
And now she's an adult.
Yeah.
Yes, Bella's doing amazing. She's absolutely officially an adult. Her birthday's coming up.
Congratulations. Yes.
And and she's incredible. And again, just to loop back to the whole thing, I'm very proud of her that she this past weekend she did this whole journey of cooking Slavic food. She went down. She found a Slavic market in Jersey somewhere, and she went and bought all the ingredients, and she made borscht and a bunch of other things that just dipping into her Slavic heritage. And she knows to be adventurous with cooking because she cooked with myself and her father her whole life, and also her grandmothers.
Tom, right here on the air, I would like to invite Jen back to discuss these 2 subjects together.
I think that's a good idea.
One is herbalism, because it is a subject that fascinates me, and we didn't even cover that in the show.
Right.
And 2 is fermented foods.
Oh,
because one of the things that Jen had mentioned earlier in the show,
foods?
Was that it's harder to get fresh foods in the wintertime. Well, our bodies are designed to transfer over to things like you eat the cucumbers in the summertime. You eat the pickled cucumber in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And a pickled cucumber has a completely different set of dietary nutrients in it.
Right.
That it's chemically a different food. And your body wants it in the wintertime. So sauerkraut, which is fermented cabbage.
All right.
You can ferment those pickled tomatoes, pickled onions, cucumbers,
pickled pickles.
Well, pickled pickles, as we think, are basically cucumbers, right?
Gotcha. All right.
So, looking at those foods that are supposed to ferment, cheese is basically fermented milk, and you're supposed to eat those foods throughout the winter.
Okay, I was a little confused by fermented foods, but now I get it. Yeah,
right?
Cheese is a fermented food.
Right.
Okay, I'm with you.
So, in that change of season, our bodies want more of those fermented foods if we look at things from a natural place and not from a corporate food place.
Without a doubt.
So, on our next show, I would like to delve into that with Jen.
Okay.
But I feel like we've gone on enough for our listeners for today.
I'm fascinated. And listeners, hopefully you found this fascinating. I'm looking at our count here. We're up to like about 457 views and listens. And we don't really even look at those numbers. We just like to have the conversation. And that's where it's at. Jen and Mike, I'm just going to say this, but when I was over at WRCR Radio, and I wasn't on the air much, like I was on for like a summer, if you will, with my colleague Irene Gutman. She did a great coaching show back then, and it was a lively atmosphere. But I definitely listened in on the conversations that were happening while they were going live, and I found the most interesting ones was when you found people, first of all, willing to hop on the air and talk about something, but if they're a friend, bonus, and if they're really, let's just say, intelligently thinking about the topics that they care about, triple bonus. So Jen, we got to have you back on the show.
Yeah, well, no, I would love to talk about it. And yeah, there's just so many aspects of health that, I think we could talk about many different shows.
Awesome. All right. So one more time, Jen Lima from BellaVitaAlchemy.com. And we'll put some links on the podcast afterwards, and we'll look forward to speaking with you again. Jen, I'll probably give you a buzz like a little bit after the show today. Just got to read off the news, but I'll buzz you, and we'll set up another time for the 3 of us to talk.
That would be great.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you so much.
All right.
Good
great.
talking to you, Jen.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, so that's Jen Lima, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to flip over to the newscast here, and boom. Okay, that
This
was a
is time
great.
for the news. Oh,
Yeah.
that was a great show, and I look forward to the next one.
Seriously, it's so much more fun. Like I'll give you an example. You and I, we vibe all the time.
Yeah.
But when I'm reading the news by myself, it's not the same energy as you and me on the show.
Absolutely.
And that was next level, having someone that we know, we've hung out before together. We're kind of interested in the same things.
There is definitely one of those Venn diagrams, as they say.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And plus you have a lot of experience as a gardener.
I do.
Jen has a lot of experience as a gardener. So yeah, I think that's a great idea to bring her back on the show.
Well, in this time of food insecurity, and that statement from people to people that we do this in the holidays, but we don't continue this on. This is kind of how I want to take up that torch and help the folks who are food insecure in ways that are not just handing them dollar bills.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I had County Executive Ed Day. He hopped on the show yesterday.
How is Ed Day?
He laid out his entire agenda for his next several years in his. I think this is his 5th election cycle. He's back in.
Okay. It might be his 6th.
6th?
I think it might be his 6th.
It's not 6, 7 or anything like that, right?
I don't know.
But yeah, he did a great job. But we were talking about various things, and one of them had to do with food insecurity, and we are launching that additional part of the fast that I spoke with you about a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a winter fast. It is going to start. We're coming up with the wording how we want to do this, but it's going to be, mark your calendars, ladies and gentlemen, on Wednesday, December 3rd. And here's how it works. All you got to do, I'm going to go 36 hours. I'm going to fast.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Maybe more.
Yeah, it might be 37.
Now, when you say fast, you're drinking water because you have to hydrate.
Water, coffee, obviously, supplements and everything, and then just do my work and just not focus on eating. But it's for a purpose.
All right.
People to people.
A purpose for people to people.
A purpose, a pledge pin. People to people.
You do need pledges.
And they are one of the leading providers of services for people that suffer from food insecurity in Rockland County. And they've been an organization in Rockland for many years. Beautiful organization. Diane Serator, she heads it up. And she and I talked, and we are launching this campaign. Basically, what's going to happen is I'm going to lead the charge on this for my part. 36 hours. I'm going to start on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock at night. I'm going to go all the way through Wednesday and the beginning of Thursday. But you don't have to, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Please put your pledges.
Here's how you
in his pocket
can participate. All you got to do is skip something as simple as one meal. Be it if you're not having cereal in the morning or eggs, or your sandwich in the afternoon or dinner, you choose. And then whatever you would have eaten, the cost of that, be it $1, $5, $10, $20, you donate that to people. And you would subsequently be helping people with food insecurity in Rockland County. And remember, when people to people purchases something, they're able to have better purchasing power, so they can buy in bulk and they can distribute more food to more people that in Rockland are suffering from food insecurity.
Let's get the potatoes in the mouths of the people.
Well, yes. Well, definitely.
Only because everything else has peas in it. Oh, wait, peas in the mouths of the people.
I believe that Mike
peas
is
and potatoes
currently on,
with pumpkins
on a plan for providing paragraphs of potato information. I don't know,
but we lost.
But I get what you're saying. It's a pledge pin. There's a lot. There's a lot of, like, in terms of the words that we're saying.
And folks, we are only jesting, so we do not cry at the sadness, because food insecurity is a real thing.
It is.
And it is not that people are lazy. It is not that they are unwilling. It is that it is so difficult to make ends meet that it is hard to get to the grocery store. It's hard to make enough money to actually feed your family.
Yes, sir.
And part of it, I think, is that there's been a loss of knowledge about how to use food items.
Well,
going back to what Jen's talking about.
I think, all right, for my, current state of observation of life is that we've kind of gorged ourselves for a few years. And I'm being metaphorical. I'm not even talking about, the, eating Cheetos and, filet mignon and all that stuff. I'm just talking about just kind of like gorging ourselves on everything that's available. And remember I mentioned a few weeks ago, it was like sometimes you got to curate the choices a little bit.
Correct.
Just like,
and that's what Jen was talking about.
Yeah. Like in the garden, you're snipping away the stuff that doesn't make sense for the harvest later on.
Right. It's how do you make the plant the strongest by removing the bad parts, the bad habits.
Yes.
Right. So the dead stuff in gardening is your bad habits, because then you're sending energy to these bad habits that you could be sending that same energy to the good habit.
Yeah. And
now, am I good at this? No. This is math. I understand that the math of it. To apply it to human nature is very challenging.
Absolutely.
It is more about the intent to try.
Yeah.
And don't beat yourself up when you fail. Just go, all right, this is where I failed. Let's try not to fail there again.
Yeah, there was a cool Odd Couple episode about that back in the 1960s, early 70s.
You mean the Jack Klugman, Felix Unger, Oscar Madison?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And there was this episode where they decided to go to a monastery and deprive themselves fasting wise.
Okay.
And
we're not doing this.
We're absolutely not doing this. No, I mean, let's face it. I mean, I like my PlayStation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like hop on Gran Turismo and drive around a track. I'm like, yeah, I love that game.
How about we do a 202 cannabis-a-thon? You can only smoke cannabis for 36 weeks.
Now, I don't know about this cannabis thing. I don't know. But that Odd Couple episode, so they go to the monastery, but then of course, Oscar comes back with like a bag full of burgers and he's eating himself, gorging and everything. And then the monk catches him and Felix says, "We're very sorry, we failed. We're leaving and we're never coming back. We're failures and everything." And the monastery dude, the monk, he was like, "Dude, you don't have to leave. I mean, you made a mistake and you dust yourself off and you try to do better next time."
Try and do better next time, folks.
Yeah. So I guess I'll read the news because we're a news
and
show.
Then I want to talk about pickleball.
Going back to your pledge pin paragraph, pickleball sorted.
Well, that was my last week's adventure after our show. I went and talked to the pickleball people.
You know what's missing? I'll tell you what's missing right now.
World peace?
No. I have this little tube that I use as a fake cigarette where I could just sit back and just inhale oxygen. All right. So let's. I'll give you just a quick rundown. I mean, it's some rough stuff today, so I just want to note the mood change.
You do the rough stuff, and then I'm going to talk about pickleball.
All right, we're just going to go over 5 stories that are of note. First of all, in Nanuet, a measles case has been confirmed. Typically, we get a few of these each year. Rockland County health officials have confirmed a new case of measles, bringing the total number of cases to 9 since August. The county does continue urging residents to make sure that they're vaccinated, noting that the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, MMR, is the best protection against the disease. To support that effort, free vaccinations will be available on Wednesday at a mobile vaccination van in Nanuet, operating from 9 a.m. to noon. The mobile unit will also visit the Rockland Kosher Supermarket in Muncie on December 2nd, offering vaccinations at no cost. I can't imagine everybody in Muncie just being like, "Hey man, we got to hide behind this van." So it gets anyway. That's horrible. I don't even know how that goes.
What?
I'm off.
Next.
I'm off kilter.
Next.
All right. A Haitian community organization in Spring Valley is stepping in to help Jamaica recover after Hurricane Melissa devastated parts of the island last month. Conbit Neg Lakai and I know the CEO of that organization, Renaud Julian, who
Okay.
got 30 years of experience sending aid throughout the Caribbean, to Haiti, as well as now to Jamaica. They spent this past Tuesday collecting food, supplies, and monetary donations to assist families still displaced by the storm many, many months later.
So food insecurity is not just a local problem, as we're seeing.
Oh, yeah.
This is a worldwide problem.
That's right.
But the best place to start is with your neighbors.
In Rockland County.
Correct.
And Renaud said that the group already has strong logistics systems in place, and a volunteer will personally accompany the shipment to ensure that the supplies reach those in need. Officials in Jamaica report that at least 24,000 homes were destroyed and thousands of people remain in shelters without reliable access to food. Police in Ramapo say that a munitions shell was found during a basement cleanout at a home in the Hillcrest neighborhood on Sunday. Investigators believe that the shell may date back to the Korean War, left behind by a former resident who was a veteran. The Rockland County Sheriff's Office Bomb Disposal Unit responded. They inspected the device and safely removed it from the home. And Mike, no injuries were reported.
Well, I'm assuming if the veteran brought it back from Korea as some sort of war trophy, there was some sort of safety on it.
Yeah, I would imagine. You don't want to hear like that song, click, click, boom.
No.
Yikes. And, there's a few other stories that are really, really downtrodden. And, I want to note this, that, the news is, and every single time that I open up all the information that we need to aggregate, you could find all the news stories on rocklandnews.com. And also there's a ton of reliable organizations. Obviously the granddaddies of this all is News 12, Low HUD, and, Rockland County Biz Journal. They do a darn good job in terms of reporting a lot of stuff that's out there. We try to not have an opinion on it, at least in print. But the flip of that is
that's
that
what this show is.
Right. When we're on the air, we can talk about
over here.
Exactly. And note this, that next year, as I mentioned to you many times, Mike, we're getting a new soundboard, and we're going to have a lot more guests on the show. We're going to have people commenting. I'm going to mention one other thing. I'm not going to talk about it in detail.
Hold on.
Yeah.
But you can comment on this show. You can give us suggestions. You can ask requests at
rocklandsnews.com/alert.
See, so we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear the responses. We want to hear what you guys think.
Yes, exactly.
We want to ask the questions that come up to you and ask them to all of our officials. Bring your concerns to us, and we will help direct you to the right place. Tom is very well connected. I'm connected to a bunch of people. I don't know who they are, but
Well, just send them to me, and I'll reconnect everybody with everybody.
And everybody's with everybody. But you're not alone, and we are here to try and give a voice to Rockland.
Absolutely. WRCR was a great company, and when my web design company was coming up in the ranks, they gave me free office space for several years, and we bartered for hosting space. That WRCR website was huge, like back then, gigabytes and gigabytes.
Well, and somebody needs to be able to ask those questions to Ed Day and to Howie Phillips and to all of the politicians. We want to be that voice for you guys. We need to hear from you. Tell us how we're doing. Tell us what you think.
Yeah. And on our next show, we're going to have supervisor of the town of Clarkstown. Once again, we'll have Supervisor George Holman on. And he's going to be talking a little bit about, and he said this, publicly at the town hall meeting on Monday, at which I was. Okay. Started at 7:00, went on till like 11 o'clock at night. If you want to read what happened at like around 10:30, 11 o'clock, head over to rcbizjournal.com. That's cool. But at the beginning of that time, Supervisor Holman reiterated, and was very emphatic about this, that there are no plans, nor were there ever, objectives to curtail anyone's freedom of speech. It was always about safety. They're not curtailing the time. They're not curtailing anything.
With that, are we getting our rails?
And he mentioned that they are working with the New York State Department of Transportation in order to get those safety guardrails.
Yay, safety.
And also a variety of other things, because they have these meetings with the highway department. I want to guess on a quarterly basis. It might be biannual or yearly, but at least several times a year. And they are generally looking for the entirety of Clarkstown, all the different wards, to make sure that people are protected and safe. And, Don Franchino, supervisor for Clarkstown Ward 3, he says, look, you can protest 365 days a year. We just want to make sure that nobody gets hurt. And that is on both sides of the coin. And coming up soon on Rockland News, we're going to have some commentary about, and we're going to keep it nice and clean. I want to say this to you, ladies and gentlemen, because we all have our opinions on things that are happening at the federal and state level. But we're going to focus it in on what really happened. How did this spiral out of control, Mike? Like, it's just like, oh my God, it's me. And like,
hold on, wait. Going back to what Jen said.
Yeah.
Tom, breathe with me. We all need to take a breath.
I thought you said 3.
Well, Jen says take 1.
Okay, fine.
But you should take 3. You should take 3 because they're free.
Moderation, though.
I mean, that's why we're only taking 3, not 5.
All right. I'm going to take 1 3/4 and then maybe like breathe normal the rest of the time.
But anyway, safety first, folks.
Yeah,
we are
safety
trying.
First. That's what we're getting.
And this is the cool part, right? So the whole issue kind of spiraled out, and we asked on air, what was the intent? Is it safety? The answer was yes. I'm like, all right, so what's the plan for making it safe?
Of course.
We asked the question for the community. We need the community to feed us the questions, because as smart as Tom and I are, we're not that smart. We need your help.
Hey, hold on.
The collective.
We say we ain't no smart, huh?
The collective consciousness of Rockland County is better than just our 2 crazy brains.
I'm gonna try and not break myself here. And
collective consciousness of Rockland County. That means your voices, listeners.
All right. But let me ask you this. Are there stupid opinions that get in the mix of that collective?
If you look at the not so smart questions as an opportunity to reinforce the validity of what you think is right, then you should thank them for the gift.
Okay, that's a very pragmatic way of looking at it, but it didn't answer the question exactly. I'm just saying, in other words, all right, let's use you and me as an example.
Okay.
All right, because we can be good examples.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not just positive.
I think we're good examples of bad examples.
I wouldn't say. I think we do. Dude, you're a gardener.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's in addition to your abilities on the soundboard at Stony Music Fest.
That's true.
As well as your audio-visual capabilities in working at RCC for many years, managing a team, delegating responsibilities, and notably handling the AV for the Workforce Development Board of Rockland County.
It's just something I do.
All right. So, hey, I mean, humble, okay, but, intelligent and thoughtful. That's my estimation of you.
Fair enough.
As far as the way I look at myself, all right, is there's people that are dumber than me and there's people that are smarter than me, okay? I aim as best as possible to treat them on the same wavelength, and I think the differentiating factor is like when people smarter than me come at me like, or when people dumber than me come at me like, kind of like a pirate. See, that's another paragraph.
Argyle socks.
A pledge pin. I think I just broke a mic.
No.
All right.
Anyway,
but what I'm getting at is, are there more people in the collective that may not make the same good choices for their lives? Like, I see myself in the middle. What are your thoughts on that?
if you try and come at the world with curiosity, that everything that is being presented to you is a time to reinforce your thought or to rethink something because you got some new information. I think all the questions are valid questions because it makes you think that you have to understand that not everybody understands like you do. And just because you have done the whole process, you need to, thank you. You need to be able to break that down and communicate it back to the lowest common question. Not lowest common person question, because it could be the brilliant physicist who asks you the most simple question. Right. Or it could be a brilliantly philosophical question asked by someone who you might think is a dullard.
Right. And I think the important piece in that is, especially at the beginning of the process, to, I think as best as possible, not make snap judgments. I think
going back to taking a breath.
Right. I read this story once, and I Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and I've done at least dozens and dozens of books at this point. But there was this one story that stuck out with me in Stephen Covey's writings. Is like, there's a dude that he was on the subway, and there were these kids that were just like causing havoc in the subway, like running around and everything like that.
That would have been us back in the day.
Yeah. And the parents just like sitting there, like not doing a freaking thing. He's just like sitting there, like not paying attention, and the kids are just running wild. So he goes over to this guy. He's like, dude, can you do something about your kids? It's like they're running all over the place. And he looked up with like a dazed look on his eyes. And I'm going to look away just because I don't want to do. He's like, I'm really sorry because we just came from the hospital and their mom just died in surgery. And I'm just not paying attention. And it changed the paradigm like immediately. And not that the question was invalid. It was certainly a logical question based on the information that was presented at that time, to your point, because now the person got new information and can shape a new opinion. So I think that that's one of the things that are important in personal growth, is not making those snap judgments. And that's kind of been the theme of our show today. Like, taking that breath and taking a pause back.
The other thing to remember, and this gets a little bit more esoteric, right? A lot of us are leaning into digital information and AI as an answer. Earlier today, before the show, you talked about a movement, a cult-like movement that is a budding religion.
Yeah, we have a problem.
Is that people are using, this is what you told me, correct me if I'm wrong, that people are now following AI bots as if they are religious prophets.
Right.
And my understanding as really like not understanding AI and speaking with you and I just lost his name.
Who that? Oh, Dave Ziegler?
Dave Ziegler.
Yeah.
And his company. That
Ziegler Technical Solutions.
Thank you.
Part of Rockland AI. We do use AI, but we use it as an employee, not as a guide.
The way I understand it is AI is supposed to be a tool that it gives you the framework and you're supposed to review.
Yes.
Check the data.
Absolutely.
And then polish it all up so it actually sounds like it comes from a human.
100%.
That is you, right? The AI is not something that is supposed to be an end result.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the beginning point.
Right.
And I always look at AI, and AI is just a buzzword. All right. It's large language models. technology has emerged that allows us to be able to interact better with it. We don't have to.
I'm sorry,
type all the
boy.
time.
We
We can,
need
like,
to
speak
boil
to-
the terms down to those of us who need to use words
Sorry,
like AI,
my fault.
because we don't understand
Yeah.
the words that you are talking about. Everybody understands AI, ChatGPT. Give us the not so. Yeah. Anyway,
In all seriousness, all right. Let me explain what that. And I'm afraid to even bring this up because it put a chill down my spine.
what
Okay.
part?
The name of this movement.
Yeah.
All right. And I hope it's just one single news article. I am
Okay.
hoping that we don't hear more about it, but who the heck knows? It's called spiralism.
Okay.
And spiralism
We're
is the idea.
spiraling into the AI.
Yeah,
What-
spiraling into it, spiraling out, spiraling up, spiraling down, whatever the heck. It's dangerous, in my opinion. I'm going to say, in my opinion, but I dystopianly, and we're all going to die. I have a feeling it's going to be around because I see the trends. That's just what they're calling it right now. It could be called something completely different, but I consider it very dangerous because now we are giving up our independent thought. We're giving up. We think that not for this show. Not for this show.
All right.
Yeah.
We have got that's a tangent for another day.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to leave you with a conversation
You're leaving
about
us?
pickleball.
Pickleball!
All right. So last week, Tom sent me on an adventure over to Kobe Sushi.
Your first Rockland News article.
That's true. So I went over to Kobe Sushi, one of our sponsors,
Yes,
and I
we love
checked
Kobe
out their
Sushi.
jazz stage and the piano over there. It was cool. And I was there to talk to folk about pickleball. Now, the three things that I had learned about pickleball, but these are the big takeaways.
Mhm.
Number one is that pickleball is not just for old people. It's just that the old people have the most amount of time to play pickleball. Two, that we have a municipal set of pickleball courts in Rockland County.
Yeah, Stony Point, there's a pickleball court. Haverstraw, I think. I'm not sure. But
The one I heard about was in Congress, I think.
there is a Congress pickleball.
And that seems to be like a big complex.
Mhm.
Now, on the commercial side, so the cool part about that is those are free courts. The negative side is you have to hope that you can step in there and because it's catch as catch can with the courts.
Mhm.
If you want to make sure you have court space,
Right.
you will go over to the new pickleball center, which is where Ocean State Job Lot was in New City.
That's right. New
And
York
met with those
pickleball.
folks. Right. Lovely people. I spoke to them, and I spoke to the entire pickleball council of. There are so many interesting people over there. Now, I tried to understand what the sport was, and I got it boiled down to it's where ping pong and tennis meet.
Pretty much.
And I'm like, and the whole movement of pickleball seems to be like the racquetball craze of the 80s,
Mhm.
if you are old enough to understand what that means.
I was on the racquetball court with
Right.
a realtor that was in her late 60s at the time.
Yeah.
Kicked my tuchus.
Well, pickleball is not as
Tuchus
demanding. Well, demanding on the knees. It's not as fast.
That in itself is a good thing.
And it seems like this is kind of taking over for bowling. Like
Okay.
bowling used to be that hey, we're going bowling. Like everybody's going to play pickleball. I'm being
Interesting.
told. When I asked the folks who are opening, what's the name of the company again?
202 Cannabis.
No, you do that before you go.
I don't know about this cannabis thing.
That's before you go to New City and you go to.
Talking about Kobe Sushi.
No, I'm talking about the pickleball league.
The New York State Pickleball Association.
No, the company.
New York.
It's about to open.
Yeah, New York Pickleball.
That's what it's called, New York Pickleball.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm pretty
They
sure.
did invite us over there to go check out their space. So,
All right.
at some point, You and I should reach out.
Totally. Yeah, we'll do a follow-up story because you did this story.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd be great.
And for those of you that are interested in the new pickleball club that is going to be built on the Ocean State job lot.
Which is what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry. Okay. You were.
Yeah, that's the company that I'm asking you about.
Okay. So that's available on rocklandnews.com. It's available right on the homepage. We did that story last week. Mike's story is actually going to be followed up, and you're going to have a lot of reading material on this Thanksgiving morning.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So the name of that company is New York Pickleball?
Yes, sir.
And do they have a website yet?
They do not.
Well,
I should reach out to them as I think about it.
We're going to do that. We are going to get you the information of New York Pickleball. And they're going to have parties. There's event spaces there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This is going to be like, if you think about next generation multi-use, okay, there's an unspoken opportunity in Rockland in that as we're building up commercial facilities,
yes,
those can be built in a way that haven't been able to been built in the 1970s.
Right.
You know, you look at Gangs in New York, like the show, you see how the New York City evolved over time, but it was still built on the bones of the older city with older infrastructure. Well, we have newer infrastructure.
And even getting a little bit more, I'm going to say, frivolous and modern to it. So
yeah,
we used to, and I mentioned how pickleball is becoming like the new bowling fad.
Mm-hmm.
Even our classic bowling alley over there in Havistraw completely renovated itself, and they added a laser tag and a bunch of other things, and it's a multi-entertainment space. It's not just this one thing. So the New York Pickleball is in the process of being constructed. I think they're going to open next month.
Yeah. According to the article, it said 182 North Main Street, 22-foot ceilings, professional grade vinyl fencing, lounge areas for the players and the spectators.
So even if you don't want to play and you just want to check it out, you can go in there and see what pickleball's about.
Yeah.
So
there's a pro shop, there's a gift shop, private event rooms designed for parties, programs, community activities. So this is going to be happening.
Right. And it's right down the street from Kobe Sushi.
Yeah, Kobe Sushi
is where the event took place. And oh my God, they took care of this party so well. I recommend anyone who has any sort of corporate event to go talk to Joyce at Kobe Sushi. She was great.
Yeah, they just recently expanded their facility. They used to have a 40-person sit-down Kobe restaurant, sushi restaurant with one bar. Now it's 80-person, 2 bars, one in the back, one in the front, neon lights, everything like that. Amazing service and staff. And, Mike, they have a jazz lounge where on Wednesdays and Saturdays there's live
the stage
music.
is great.
Yeah, a beautiful place.
So plenty of parking.
Yep. Plenty of pickleball right down the road.
Right. So, you go play some pickleball, you go have some sushi and listen to some jazz.
Yeah. We should get some pledge pins.
While we pickleball?
Yeah.
All right.
All over the place. This has been a party, man. So should we end there or should we talk about anything else? I don't know what's going on.
The only other thing I can say is that if you have abundance, give to those who have scarcity.
Amen.
There are plenty of people starving. There's lots of ways to get them food and resources. I know there's a coat drive by which politician was that, Tom?
Senator Bill Weber.
Senator Bill Weber.
Yeah, coat drive went very well, and it was the record-breaking number of coats that were donated.
If you are a person who listens and you have scarcity, there are places to go. Pride is something we need to throw away for right now. We need to survive, because tomorrow we can do better tomorrow.
The late Gary Lipton, lawyer in Clarkstown for many years, good guy. I knew him very well, and used to come to our business networking meetings all the time. And he used to say, "The past is history, the future is a mystery, and the present is a gift."
And we should be thankful for what we can be thankful for tomorrow, because tomorrow's Thanksgiving.
Totally. And for those of you that are celebrating tomorrow, we wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. We're going to be back next week. We're going to close out with our famous music. I'm just going to limp over here. Because
you have to go to the chiropractor.
I got to stop crying. Yeah, we got to talk with Dr. Anna Marie O'Looney from North Rockland Chiropractic. She's been my chiropractor for several years now. Love heading over to her, especially in the middle of a busy day, and she takes care of me ipso facto. She's awesome. She actually has a clothing line now.
Does it help with chiropractic?
Upbeat threads, upbeat threads. And I have a Metallica flannel upstairs that she created.
So when you are wearing these clothes as a drummer, do you like to step on the downbeat?
I do the upbeat and the downbeat these days.
You're a little up and down and up and down.
Hey, listen, if you break a Tommy, just make sure that it's not on the drums.
Where is that beautiful music?
Here we go. We're going to talk about our sponsors, but first, I want to thank our sponsors, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp located in Hackensack, New Jersey, Kobe Sushi, Susan Bover from Coldwell Banker Realty, Lauren Molino Muller, Howard Hannerand Realty, Whole Shot Bagels, 99 Signs. A business without a sign is a sign of no business. Workforce Development Board of Rockland County, Rockland Works, get a job! FZ Perfection Auto Body Repair, Congress, New York, Clean Space Maintenance Management Company, Sparkling Clean Homes, and our friends over at Rockland Music Fest. Everything's available online now. Check it out at Rockland Music Fest on YouTube and Roku. On behalf of Mike,
Tom,
have a great, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch up with you next time.
be good.